Hello lovelies, and welcome back to another episode of Pup's GoTWiC Guides for Dummies. In this episode, I'm going to talk about something I am relatively loath to talk about, and that is bows. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between, the uses, the non-uses, everything you need to know should be covered in this video. If I missed something, please feel free to leave a comment and let me know, or if I got something wrong, I'd love to try to correct it. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump right on into it. First things first, we're going to go ahead and start off with the gear. A little disclaimer, I am not a bow player whatsoever, but this is the best gear in my opinion for bows. I'm going to kind of go through a couple different options that you can do, but we'll start off with the helmet, and that is the Storm's Rage helmet. That's the best for bows, gives that bow attack. The weapon is the Frost Spear, also offering bowman attack. Depending on your game level and where you're at, you could also choose to use the Lofty Crown Sword. This offers total stats. It's a good all-around pick, especially if you're going to be a bow player, as you get a lot of bow stats from Iron Defense. Next up for bows is going to be your legs, and that is the Oath leg armor. This is the best for bows. There is another option if you would rather though, and that is the Lofty Crown legs. These are a great option for bows, as they can be awakened up to a higher level than the Oath currently can. That's not to say that that won't change in the future, but yeah, these might be the better option for you, depending on what level you have them unlocked at. These are the boots that require you to get all 3 to gold and then stars on them to increase them, and that's this Sunspear, Frost, and Storm's Rage legs. Those all have to be progressed before you can progress this. The next thing we're going to talk about for bows is the offhand. Don't mind that. Is the offhand, the Storm's Rage axe. This offers bowman attack. Obviously, we're going to go ahead and equip our Lofty Crown pendant. This gives every troop type attack, so the best pendant in my opinion, aside from Certain Glorious. The next piece is the chest. I went with the Lofty Crown chest that gives bowman attack. There is indeed another option for this, and that is once again the Oath leather armor. Unfortunately, this is not having the ability to be awakened yet. But depending on what rank you have your chest piece, this could be better for you until this gets to a higher rank. Currently this blows my Oath out of the water, so comparatively it's an easy choice to go with the Lofty Crown chest. But for early game players, this Oath chest could come in very handy, as that's a great source of bowman attack. Next on the list is the Memories of Ruin as the accessory, and to finish it out is the Fang of Fury for the bowman health. Memories of Ruin was the bowman attack. So yeah, it doesn't look pretty because I am not a bow player, but this is roughly the best bow armor that you can get. Now, I think the burning question on everyone's mind is, can you attack with bows, and if so, what do you use to attack with? Well, the obvious but unfortunate answer is bows do not have a synergy currently. They rely very heavily on the female synergy, so I will try to link that video up here. But you're going to go for bow heavy commanders coupled with your female synergy commanders. Now, there are a few commanders you can pad your lineup with, Kravras being one of them. He gives really good bow attack, and his awakening is when your bowmen perform normal attacks, they have a 20% chance of additionally attacking an extra time. So this is just added damage, and this is the reason you want your bow attack as high as possible. The regular attacks will do that much more damage. Additionally, you could include someone like Melisandre in your march if you're going to spend. Yes, she does give the building construction buff, but she also gives bow stats, 30% attack and defense. She is also a female commander, so her active skill is going to come into play in that female synergy we were talking about with attacking. Her 4-star awakening is in battle. Commander Melisandre ignites the arrows for all allied bowmen. Normal attacks of all allied bowmen have a 50% chance to deal 10% fire damage. Some semblance of a synergy there, but not really. Nothing compared to, say, the female weakness or combo bleed synergy, how well they play off of each other. Another really solid bow commander for early game or free to play is going to be Sheila. She does also give that bow attack 30%, and she falls under that female category, so she could play off of your female synergy while providing those precious stats. Her awakening is apply immediately when owned, upkeep consumption rate reduced by 50%, so coupled with a buff from the Sept of the Seven, she can erase your grain consumption completely. So let's see, 50% here, and then this upkeep consumption right here, you can basically select 50% for 11,200 diamonds. You can have passive grain production again. I know a lot of people have 0 grain and constantly 0 grain. Well, Sheila combined with that lovely buff will fix that for you. Another really excellent commander to have if you are spending is going to be Theon. He gives total attack, bow defense, and bow health. His awakening is kind of nice though, especially if you're just defending during a city defense battle. Every time 3 million allied troops join the battle, total attack plus 10%. So that is a base 10% total attack increase anytime you're defending with 3 million troops or more, which you should guaranteed be defending with at least that many. You can find that here in the military grounds. This number up here in the top left is going to be the max troops involved in a defensive battle. The number right below that is the total troops you have stationed in your city or out on battle, just the total troops in general. And this is going to be the number you see. If you have over that number, this is going to be the number you see when you are fighting somebody or if they hit you in a report. So as long as you have more than 3 million there, Theon's 10% will kick in for you. And another really phenomenal commander to have if you're going to play bows is Egbert. You can get him in the recruitment pass. Jumping in, you can see his stats here. He offers bow attack and total defense, 50% bow attack, might I add. I think some of the best you can get. Jumping over to his awakening here, it is probably one of the best 4 bows you can get as a free to play. After the battle begins, increase the attack of all allied bowman lineups by 90% for 15 seconds. So a huge attack increase within the first 15 seconds of battle, so that could be very nice, especially coupled in a female build. So if you do all females and Egbert as your 5th, that could be very brutal, as the first couple seconds of a female build, like 6 seconds in, they are popping off like crazy. So throw him in there, and that's that nice increase to attack. Moving on to the next commander in our list, that's going to be Sansa. She has relatively decent bow stats, as well as being a female commander. She gives bow attack and bow health. Her awakening is kind of nice for just in general. Apply immediately when owned. Increase max hospital capacity by 50,000. Increase max shelter capacity by 100,000. So really she is just a troop saver. So you'll definitely want to get her in anyway, just to have, but a lower priority if you aren't bows. Now, as you can see, something I haven't really talked about is going to be their weapons. I have grazed over that, but I'm going to save that for a different video. You will want to have proper bow weapons and bow base attack on those weapons, but I won't get too heavy into that in this video. We're just talking about the lineups and the basic stuff you want to get for your bow commanders. But now I'm going to go ahead and flash an example of a lineup here for you to view. One female lineup and one free-to-play lineup. If you have watched any of my previous videos on the female synergy, you'll know why this looks the way it does. If you are rocking Salma instead of Kasana, you're definitely going to want to equip her weapon because Salma gives a debuff and the weapon will remove that for you. Otherwise, you are really just going to shoot for bow commander weapons. As you can see here, Kasana has Kravras and Layla has Egbert's weapon, but Melisandre has her weapon, Cersei has hers, and Daenerys also has her weapon, as you can roll a bow base on both Cersei and Daenerys' weapon. I know personally a few people who would label that a mortal sin, so let's try to avoid that, honestly. The next composition is going to be the relatively free to play, with the exception of Theon, and that's going to be Theon, Egbert, Sheila, Kravras, and Sansa, all excellent bow commanders. And you are indeed going to want proper bow weapons on all of them, preferably to give them their weapons if you can, but if not, these beginner weapons are great, especially for a free-to-play early account. Now let's talk about troop composition. As for troops, you're going to need at least 7 million T1s if you're trying to be trap castle or defend effectively. You want about that many, 4 million-ish T4s to kind of finish out. That's that 11 million troops. You don't necessarily want to have too many T3s. Try not to have more than 2 or 3 million of those, as when they die they provide a lot of merit, and you don't necessarily want to be worth merit, you want to get the merit. So it's not the greatest for a trap. More T1s, minimum T4s, and that should do it well for you, depending on the max number of defense troops you have available. So when it comes to T5s, you can have plenty of them, but you just don't want them to take the place of your T1s. You want to always have at least 7 million in there to defend, so do with that what you will. But yeah, you can have plenty of T5s, just don't let them outweigh your T1s. It will defend with the max troop tier that you have available. So if you, let's say, you can defend with 11 million. If you have 11 million T5s and 11 million T1s, you will defend with 11 million T5s. Now, as far as all other troop types, if you are a bow player and want to attack, defend, or what have you, remember you want to only use bows, so that means you need to be able to hide all other troop types. Now, one of the burning questions on everyone's mind is Cossomo. Is he worth it? Where does he fit in? Honestly, he does not quite fit in anywhere per se. As a bow player, you could have a more effective female lineup for the price. Cossomo is an F5 commander and is very expensive, as there's not many ways to get him. But yeah, for the money, I don't know if he's quite worth it yet. But he does give 50% bow attack, 25% total health, and he increases the base damage of your archers by 7.5% at a max level, so pretty good, honestly. And wow, that is a lot to look at, but don't you worry, we're not even going to worry about reading this. I'm just going to go ahead and quick break it down for you right now. Basically, every time a bow guy shoots an arrow, there's a chance for corrosion to start stacking. That is 150% damage right off rip. The next part, as long as you bring 300,000 troops, you're going to get this max stack here, and that's just more chances to spread that corrosion. And corrosion is every 1 stack of corrosion reduces the target's base health by 2. So effectively, he caps out at 20 base health reduction. Not terrible, not amazing either, but that does stack pretty quickly, and you get that effect very quickly, just at a base. There isn't currently a synergy involving this yet, but that is a hot topic and potential in the future. So I'd keep an eye on this guy. We don't know what's going to happen with him yet, potential new bow synergy in the future. I don't know, but yeah, jury's still out on whether Cossomo is worth it. I don't see many reports with him, so I don't know if I'll be able to find one, but if I can, I will link it here. But one more thing I would like to mention is this lofty crowned handguard. In my previous video, I did not mention it. I failed to mention it, that it is also an option for both infantry and cavalry as an offhand weapon. Still, in my opinion, the Storm's Rage Axe is going to be better for infantry, and the Frost Dagger is still going to be better for cav. That is only because of the higher troop type stat. However, the Lofty Handguard gives total stats, so it is very useful. Kind of leave that up to you guys per your discretion, but yeah, that is also an option to be gotten at a much later time, as it takes all three to be leveled to max to progress it. Honestly, that is just about gonna do it for this video, guys. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in and sticking around to the very end. As always, if you liked what you saw and you want to see more, please leave a like, maybe a comment, hit that subscribe button so you're notified when you get the next video. But yeah, until next time, guys.